Okay, so this is an experiment I'm doing. The hive with the yellow boxes, that colony, was queenless for about 2 weeks. And they were getting low on resources and the population had already started to decline. The little nuke box that's sort of green and on its edge, that nuke box I put together from collecting overflow. I took multiple frames from different hives and I combined it all into that nuke. It had larvae in all different stages of development, including eggs, and this was about a month ago. Well, that nuke had grown so much, and it now has 5-day-old larvae in it, so I assume there's a queen in there somewhere. That nuke has been doing so well that I wanted to combine it with this other hive. And the other hive is being combined with a device. If you can see it right in the middle, right above the yellow boxes, there's a unpainted piece of wood. That's a landing board for a device that has a queen excluder in the bottom, and then it has a sliding panel that comes in from the back, and that separates the two colonies. I can remove that board, and it'll allow worker bees from below and above to pass through that queen excluder, and they can mingle with each other. And my idea is to pull back on that sliding divider board and introduce the bees through a 1 3/8 inch hole. Allow the bees to co-mingle but not really have full access to each other, and that way they can introduce themselves slowly. For right now, I'm leaving it just the way it is for about 12 hours, and then later this evening, or the cooler part of the day, later about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, I'm going to pull that board back 3/8 of an inch and allow the bees to co-mingle. We'll see how that works out. The nuke had, I would guess it had at least 4,000 or 5,000 bees in it, and the colony below in the yellow boxes had probably less than 1,000 bees. So I don't think there'll be any problem. I also have a temp queen strip that I've kept in that little nuke, just to keep the bees calm until their queen developed and returned, and that didn't seem to bother them any. It's been in there for so long; it's probably lost all of its odor. So I left it in there. It's in the, if you see above, it's in the deep above, that pink box above. That contains the nuke bees, the 5 frames for the nuke, and then I added 3 more frames that were drawn comb, so that those bees that I'm introducing will have a place to lay. That queen up there, she can lay, and she has to stay in that box now because the queen excluder will keep her from going down into the bottom of the box, and hopefully it'll protect her a little bit. She'll be maintained by her what do they call it when their entourage, the feeding bees that surround the queen. They're going to keep track of her and keep her moving, keep her laying, and she now has some space to lay. There's like I said, there's 3 drawn comb. One of the comb in there is a plastic foundation brood comb, and it's only drawn out on one side, so that'll give them something to do too. And above that, if you can see at the very top, there's an insulated board instead of an inner cover. I've been using these 3-inch high boxes that are packed full of rigid foam insulation, and then it gives them an extra little feeder shim kind of deal at the top, 3/4 of an inch. They tend to, when they begin to build comb in there, I kind of know that they've got not enough room, and so I scrape the comb out and I add a couple frames, or I pull a honey frame out of there so they give them space. But this is the plan. It's an experiment, and I hope it works out. The bees down below, if you see down at the bottom, there's grass blocking their entrance, and I put that there so that they would reorient, and also to slow the introduction of all these bees flying around, slow that introduction down a little bit, and give those bees down below a little protection so that they don't get swarmed by, or overwhelmed by all these bees that are now their sisters. I hope this all works out, and hope I got the queen in there. She may have been in this nuke box, but I'm gonna take a peek in there and make sure that she's not in there still. And I think it's going to work out good though. If you notice at the top, I'm going to take you off of the frame here. If you notice at the very top, I've got a landing board, and I cut 2 holes in it so that the bees from down below here that want to go into that entrance, they can walk up the front of the box and up through these holes and into their entrance. And that worked out pretty good. When I first released them, there were so many bees everywhere. Oh, there's one that's coming up now. See? They're using that like a passage. See how they're doing? So the bees can walk up and down, pass through easily between the 2 surfaces without being interrupted or have to go up around the box. I thought that was an idea that might help them. The bees in this box, I don't know. There's so many of them. They're still wanting to stay in their old digs, because I'm sure this box still smells like that temp queen and still smells like the original queen. But if you can spot the queen, I'd appreciate you leaving a comment down below to let me know. Hopefully she went in there with the frame. I looked for her yesterday on the frames and couldn't find her, but I did find larvae. I found really young larvae. I didn't see any eggs, but I didn't have my glasses on, so it's possible there were eggs and I didn't see them. But I think the bees are going to be fine. I think they're going to combine very nicely and become a happy colony. So anyway, that's the experiment for today. Hopefully it'll work out, and we'll find out. Have a great day, guys. Happy beekeeping.